What's going on, people, and welcome on into the Put It in the Book Show, Season 7, Episode number 22. What's going on, Keith?
How sweep it is, baby. How sweep it is.
Let's go!
Take
22 to 1. 22 to 1. We wanted the lineup to finally come through with some hits, some clutch hits, some big hits, and we did get that during this this series here, Keith.
Your stream is going in and out a little bit. Your voice is clear, but your video is not.
Well, I have a voice for face for video. Producer Joe says anyway, so that matched perfectly. But you know, the baseball gods finally came through with some hits in those bats. Big Pete with 5 RBI game. Acuña, the best Acuña out there. 2 bombs over the last few days. He filled in nicely. But before we get too deep into that, and I know I got some video issues here, I'll try and fix that in a moment. But we're without Rodriguez today. He's doing big special things out there in the world. But Keith, how's everything going on with you, my friend?
Going good. Mets world is going good, which makes everything else in life a little bit easier. Unfortunately, that really does feed how the rest of my life goes, but it is what it is. Very excited. We have not had Lindor for how many games now?
4.
3?
It feels like 70, but it's 4.
I was going to say, we can't sustain, but the rest of the team has picked it up really well, and we're looking really strong going into Philadelphia. Yeah, let's do this. Let's win the first 3.
Welcoming those deuces into Citi Field. Screw Philadelphia.
Yeah, kick some ass. I wonder what the crowd's going to look like tonight.
Don't worry about that. We're gonna let everybody know about that. Don't worry about that, Mr. Producer Joe. You're not where you used to be, but you're still channeling in via satellite.
He's in the Apple
wall somewhere. He's in the Apple.
He's in the Apple.
Oh,
yep.
Must be more like a hollow sound.
He's gonna be raising it a bunch for us tonight. No, it's a metal sound. See?
I see. Producer Joe, what's up, sir? Ding. Are we ready? Are we fired up?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Who isn't? Who isn't happy with where we're at and what we've gotten out of this team? I mean, this is fun. This is exciting. We're in the thick of it. This is what you're a baseball fan for. This is great stuff.
Hell yeah. All right. So on the other side of this, we'll talk about that 3-game set that we kind of mentioned. We were just whooped up on the Nationals. What we got coming ahead. Guys coming back from injury. Good stuff lies ahead. Producer Joe, get us started. So, all right. Welcome back in, everybody, to just greatness. 10 games left here in the regular season. Mets with a 2-game lead over the Braves, tied for that second wildcard spot with the Diamondbacks. We have the tiebreaker in that scenario. And then should we find ourselves in a first place tie with the Padres for the first wildcard spot, we also have the tiebreaker there. And finally, with 10 games left, the Mets are 7 out of the Phillies. We could dream. But anyway, let's just take one step at a time and talk about the resurgence of the lineup that just took place at Citi Field in front of less than stellar crowds, but we'll get to that. Resurgence is not the half of it. 22 to 1 total score to 3-game series. Guys just hitting left and right. Big Pete with 5 RBI night in that first game. Following that little players only meeting where I guess 5 or 6 guys spoke. Pete, I know this is getting a little long-winded, but Pete in the post-game interview, they said to him, "Oh, so you said in the players only meeting that you wanted to celebrate with the boys," and the look on his face, and then he looked at the guy and he says, "How do you know?" And he says it was reported. He's like, "Oh, okay." But
He doesn't
anyway,
look at the news. He said that in the past. He doesn't. Yeah, he don't look at media at all, which is
I
probably
think
a
it was
smart thing to
reported.
do.
How'd you know?
Huh?
He was just like, "How'd you know?"
Yeah, 'cause it's smart to not look at the media because you can, especially if you're not having your typical year for him. Still having a good year, but he's not having his typical year. And if he reads all the crap that we read in the media, it can get in your head. And speaking of crap in the media, do you know, just a quick sidebar? I was listening to Baseball Tonight, Buster Only podcast yesterday. Not one mention of the Mets. Diamondbacks, Phillies,
How dare
Milwaukee,
he?
Padres, not one mention of the Mets. And I think that is really a disservice to his listeners. And
That's
not
for
only because
sure.
I'm a Homer Met fan, but because the Mets are really the hottest team in baseball the last 3 months, including the best pitching staff in the last 60 days. And we're heading into the playoffs with that pitching staff and a offense that can explode at any time. I think we're a huge threat. I think nobody wants to face us. So I'm not sure why he wouldn't mention us, but I just had to throw that out there because Buster.
Buster.
I still like his
2.17 ERA in the month of September. You got even guys like McGill pitching to a 1.69 ERA in his last 4.
Yep.
Quintana's lights out. Minaya, forget about it. Ace. He's got the longest streak of 6 2/3 or more innings pitched in baseball this year. Out of the Garrett Coles of the world, the guy in Dodgerville who has missed most of the season. And it's just one night after another, the pitchers are taking that ball and they're not giving it up. And then the pen comes in, does their job. Even in the extra innings, when that kind of stuff happens, to not allow the free runner to score is huge. And it's just it's all coming together. Defense is amazing. What are your thoughts specifically on Acuña? I think he's held his own pretty well so far.
Starting with the glove, I was a little disappointed that he didn't scoop that ball up on that throw to second from was it Vientos? I think that's if Vientos got the error. I think totally it was an Acuña error.
It hit his hand, but then he made up for it. Huh?
But other than that, he's been really slick. He I don't think he has, and it's a small sample, but I don't think he has the range Lindor has. I'm always more comfortable with Lindor, but I have no problem with him in the field. He's been doing really well. And he made a really slick play yesterday, too. I think throwing it to second base instead of first base. I don't know if that was yesterday or the day before.
And he hits the ball hard, does not get robbed on any of his swings, and it's pretty smooth. And they point out, I know you mentioned the side-by-side of the
I was working. Unfortunately, I couldn't send it over, but they did on SNY a side-by-side of his brother's first home run and his identical swings. And obviously, why is that promising? If you have to ask that, you don't know baseball, because his brother is pretty damn special. So, I mean, I'm if he could reach close to that potential, whew, I mean, the kid, he was not stellar in AAA, but he was doing well. But I'll tell you what, he came up to the bigs. He was not scared at all of the stage, and he's embracing it, and that's pretty impressive.
And that's big ups to the vets. Lindor obviously has his back. You saw him and talking to him in the dugout. Nimmo has with the words of encouragement. So, like, this is when you talk about the vision that this ownership group had spoken about building the minors and becoming a lasting every year team that's going to contend. It seems as though it's coming to life right in front of us. You got a contending team right now that is probably a year ahead of what ownership anticipated us getting back into the mix of things. And now look at the veterans that we've accumulated on on the active roster, what we got going on in the minor leagues, and just the mix in between, it's a hell of a first year for Mendoza and his guys.
Yeah, if you think about it, in 2 years, the whole entire team, well, not the whole entire team, but 80 to 90% of the team could be homegrown players.
Yeah. Oh, wait a second. While Rodriguez is not here, I can freely talk smack about Max Scherzer without him coming to the defense of that guy. All right. One more thing to thank Max Scherzer for. That's Mr. Acuña. So the old fellas from last year, Verlander got us back about $20 million, right? Along with the prospects. Scherzer, we got Acuña, and they've pitched a combined like 120 innings. All worked out well. Look, see, even that.
We got him in a trade?
Yeah, we got him in a trade with the Rangers.
Nice.
With the Rangers for Scherzer. Yeah, that was it. And that kind of goes even more hand in hand with another thing that we've spoken about, is that the Mets ownership put all that money in to get the better prospect. In the past, it wouldn't have happened. We would have either kept them on the roster, or we would have gotten 3 middling AA guys that never came to fruition. All right, so back to what's going on now. You take that, again, in the past, the Mets would have kind of folded to a team like the Nationals or the Marlins or back then. But now it's the Braves losing 2 out of 3 to the Reds. It's the Diamondbacks losing 2 out of 3 to the Rockies to set all this greatness up. And before we start getting into the Phillies series, Keith, there was some talk from our announcers initially about the crowd size. We're talking about crowd size this year. First night, I saw it, but I don't want to mention it. But then they were like, "Oh, it's pretty small crowd for a pennant race." Keith agreed, not you, Keith, but Hernandez. And then now it's Mad Dog came out with in his Mad About segment. Met fans not coming out to support, and there is a little something to this. I know that there's that other side that it's mad expensive to be going to baseball games this year or any sporting event. But even Brandon Nimmo calling out the fans. You wanted this, now come out and see us. Get out here and sell out Citi Field for the next 4 games. What's your take, Keith?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I had to double check if I wasn't on mute because Ruger was barking before. I totally agree that they need to get out there for the series. But I also understand them not coming out and forced for the Nationals. Bottom dwelling team.
No, you're tied for the play. You're tied for the 3rd seed.
I'm just
get out there.
My own
I know.
Let's say I'm just going, 2 people, my wife and I. It's probably and Joe made kind of a breakdown for when he went to.
You're taking your wife over me?
Okay, me and my babe, Farace. That's minimum, and that's keeping it light. $300 night. Yeah. That's a lot. I mean, how many games are you going to go to? So I understand. I know they say the Skanks, they come out in a bigger force, but they're a first place team. It's a little different. They were on the verge of clinching. That people wanted to be there for them clinching. But this weekend, enough of all that nonsense I just said. This weekend is playoff baseball. If you think about it, we just played 3 games against Phillies. Now we're playing 4. If we win the first 3, essentially it's like a virtual series win in the NLCS.
Well, and not only that, but the second 2 games, I mean, we whooped them on that Friday night. What was 11-3? And then the next 2 games with that lineup that was not producing at all, with Lindor in flux. Maybe he made that turnaround second base. He played for an inning on Sunday. Yeah. And we lost each of those games by a run.
Yeah,
this is on our turf.
One of them was, I don't remember off the top of my head because it pissed me off, but yeah, bottom line is 2 of the 2 losses were well within reach. End of the day, you look at the scorecard or you look at the standings, it's an L. But if you really dig into it, they were attainable games. And now that we're hot, I feel like, and home, I feel like we should really take at least 3. Well, wait, I'm giving my prediction ahead of time. But I'm just saying we should take at least 3 from them coming up because of that. Rodriguez has said, I don't know word for word, but essentially to the effect, now you're getting this version of the Mets Phillies, bring it on kind of
Right.
thing. I mean,
Yeah.
so,
Very true.
it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Producer Joe, I want to if you've got a thought on I know you do because we kind of mentioned it earlier. So there's two schools of thought, right? You got to get out and support your team, but then you also got to pay your cell phone bill and car note and stuff. What's your thought on lack thereof of the attendance in the National Series, and what do you want and expect to see in this Philly series?
This is the reason they have different pricing tiers when you buy tickets for games. There's not going to be a demand for the Nationals tickets. They flex it out during the year, but for this exact reason. The price for this, I know they were like $13 seats. They were desperate to try to get people in seats. But like Keith said, it's still an expensive night out for even just two people, much less a family. I think you'll see a very different thing this weekend, regardless of all the statements. But I think it'll be very boisterous because of the statements, like, an FU back to Nimmo and Gary, and hey, look, it was a weeknight, a school night, I had tickets already for this weekend, whatever the case is. I think it's going to be a full house, and the place is going to be hopping.
It's going to be rocking, baby. It's going to be rocking.
They had a decent crowd last night because it was reversible hoodie night.
Oh, it's hoodie season. Well, not here, but
they had a right up there. It's about hoodie season, just about, if not already. Yeah. But so they had a good giveaway. So I remember as a kid, like bag night was a big thing. But when I was a kid growing up, it was a little bit different because my father would pack a bag. He'd pack like a big bag of peanuts he got from the fruit stand on Roosevelt Avenue, a couple sandwiches.
You accumulate as you get. Yeah, you're right. You're accumulating.
Yeah. And then he would buy me like one pretzel or one soda, but everything else we brought to the park with us.
And back then, a soda and a hot dog was what, $2.50.
Oh, it's just
back in your day.
Which was still expensive.
Yeah,
but it was reasonable.
Pat says fans will come from Philadelphia and Atlanta for sure. Absolutely. So I guess that part is still jokes on the Mets because that's been making the rounds. So let's make up for it this weekend and just pack Citi Field out. This is, you look at the calendar, you think about at the beginning of the year when we're making our predictions and what we thought was going to start happening, right? And we talked about exciting games being in the thick of it, and then May happened. Boom. But the resiliency of this team, and you think back of Lindor getting put in the leadoff spot and the players only meeting that they had back then, and then Nimmo being brought up to the 2 spot, both struggling mightily, as minor leaguers, and then both were being talked about highly for the All-Star game just a month and a half later, and now Lindor is being talked about plus 700 odds, as bad as that might be, plus 700 for Lindor when he started at the beginning of the year for the MVP. Unfortunately, you got a guy on the West Coast about to do a 50-50 season for the first time in history.
48 and 48 right now. Unbelievable.
Walk him. Walk him. Intentionally walk him every time.
You let him get 56 stolen bases and stay up 48 homers. And the biggest hero of this stretch has been the pitching, bar none. I mean, the starting pitching, it's a normal thing to go 6 2/3 to 7 innings now. I don't remember a Mets team that was able to do that almost like in a long. I don't think 2015 was even like that.
All right, but one quick thing before we start talking about a little bit more into the Phillies series. There's something else out there besides the Mets making the playoffs that we're kind of keeping an eye on, and that is the worst record ever.
I know. I've been watching that.
And that's the White the White Sox had won 3 in a row. I don't know what the hell happened there.
I know, I got worried.
But so here's a conundrum, huh? A little conundrum for you. The White Sox this weekend are playing the Padres. Do we want them to beat the Padres and we beat the Phillies and forget about the record? We're still
Yes,
lovable
I
losers.
prefer that.
Okay.
Dude,
Now,
come on, man. The record is pales. I mean,
of course,
I'll keep the record for another 20 years. That's fine,
Yeah.
man. We beat
lovable
the Padres,
losers.
man.
This is a how many years have the White Sox been in existence? That's not lovable. That's just sad what's going on there. And then the other thing with the White Sox is that their social media team is so beyond frustrated that there was a walk-off loss that they had yesterday, and on Twitter, all that the White Sox social media said was, "Final score: the other team scored more than us."
Yeah, that's funny.
I've had it.
And you want to know? I've been taking a quick look at their website from time to time because I'm keeping up with this worst record ever thing. And their social media team, the rhetoric they're putting out is very familiar with rhetoric that I've heard from Steve Horowitz and the Mets media teams and during some of the Met fan years I've been through when we've been terrible. Celebrating like the most ominous, stupid things, stupid things that you can celebrate. You know, like he had 4 strikeouts, 3 starts in a row, or something stupid. Wow.
Pat mentions Christian Scott. Obviously, he's going to have his Tommy John surgery, and he'll be out all of next year. And we'll see him back. Yeah, but, pretty positive spirits, at least in front of the cameras. And he'll be here, 2026. Oof. 2026. All right, let's get into the Phillies series, which is happening tonight. Now, the one negative about this series has been talked about by our crew, Gary, Keith, and Ron, that they only get one of these games. Sucks for us, the fans, and they did not.
Real quick,
they didn't watch my idea. They should have done a Manning cast type of thing.
If I could jump in real quick, tonight's game. First of all, we were talking about that in our group chat. The fact that all these national games and how ridiculous it's too much. I think it's not fair to some of the fans, especially the Met fans out of New York. But tonight's game, because the Jets are playing, the Jets are on Fox, and the Mets were supposed to be a Fox Thursday night game. Now they're bumping the Met game off of Fox, WWOR, so the Jet game can be aired on Fox.
Wait, that's in New York, though, but it's on Amazon here.
Right, that's in New York. I'm talking about New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, so New York is really what? Damn.
Yeah, right. I was listening to the fan today.
Put together the Gary, Keith, and Ron cast right now. Set it up, get the cameras going, do it.
But for that, why put them on WWR? Just put them on the
Sea Caucus, New Jersey.
Yeah.
All right.
Tom Seaver here.
All right, so we start off with tonight. Again, it's on Fox and WWR, maybe. We'll see what happens out there. But it's Taijuan Walker, former Met, 3-6. Didn't he go to the Pen, and now he's back? I see why he went to the Pen. 3-6, 6.29 ERA. Against Severino's been great, 10-6, 3.77 ERA. That's your matchup tonight. Tomorrow is
Walker early. If you get to him early, you can.
I feel like with a 6.29 ERA, I feel we can get to him early, often, middle, and late.
I hope so. He's a competitor. I hope so.
Yeah, get out of here. Did he compete that game against the Pirates when he said the ball roll foul? He let 17 runs score. All right. All right. Not that I remember those type of things. Idiot. All right. Friday night, tomorrow night is the Apple TV game. Some clown, Christopher Sanchez. We have a lefty-lefty matchup tomorrow. Sanchez, 10-9, 3.24 ERA against David Peterson. He had that one little hiccup, bounced back. Now 9-2, 2.85 ERA. Really could not be asking for more from him. The Saturday game.
Easterson.
Oh, I like that. The Saturday game is the Gary, Keith, and Ron game. So you get Ranger Suarez, who I think wasn't he the guy who started off like 9-0 with a 11.4 ERA. It's a little different now. 12-7. Yes, still a great ERA, but he padded it early on against another ace, Sean Manaea. 11-5, 3.26 ERA. He wants to be re-signed. I'm just him and Sevy. They want to be here. OMG. Don't mess with that. And then the game that I am most looking forward to, fellas, because we are going to do very unholy and unsavory things to Zach Wheeler. 16-6, 2.56 ERA before he faces the New York Metropolitans this Sunday against, let's do it, Keith, another ace. 1.69 ERA in his last four. Tyler McGill, now 4-5, 4.08 ERA. So that's the
going into this game.
Series.
I'm finally not feeling like, oh crap, McGill. I like our chances if we can get to Wheeler early. You know,
it's not Wheeler. We are going Wheeler's line. Wheeler's line. Let me here it is. Let me just get it for you. 3 1/3. 3 1/3. 6 runs. 8 hits.
I like it.
And 1 bruised for JJ.
I like it.
All right. What are we calling here? 4-game set at home against the Phillies. I'm 3 out of 4, baby. 3 out of 4.
I'm going 3 out of 4. Unfortunately, I don't agree with you on the Wheeler game. I think we're going to lose that game, but I think we're going 3 out of 4. Yeah.
Damn you. Producer Joe, what do you think?
You know, I was going to say 3 out of 4, but I have to be contrarian. I can't let it be unanimous. So we're going to pull off the surprise sweep and take all 4.
What? Oh. 6 to midnight.
You got to do the cheers pop.
Yeah. Man, see, now I got goosebumps going. Producer Joe gave me goosebumps. Right. Yes. What our record right now? What, 82 wins?
84.
Oh, 84 wins. I'm sorry, 84. So got to go. So when we talked about last week about 90 wins, got to go 6-10. Obviously, good at math. So you got the Phillies, and then before our next show, we're also going to have the Braves. I doubt that we're going to have pitching matchups yet for that, so I don't think we got to go through that. But that's our chance. Obviously, depending on what happens this weekend with the Braves and the Phillies, that's our chance to just stomp on their throats. Stomp on their throats and just end their season. Done. And then we got that 3-game set with the Brewers, and depending on where we are, we just chill there, right? If we hit the 3rd wild card, then we play Milwaukee in the first round anyway, in the 3-game series. So it'll be in effect a 6-game series up in Milwaukee.
When I think of what I want to happen when we play the Braves, I think of the movie Rounders and KGB when he's doing the little humping thing. Yes.
Or American History X when he puts his mouth on the curb.
Ooh.
Wham!
That was a gruesome scene, man. That was a real gruesome scene. I mean, like you just mentioned it, I get the visual of it like immediately. Whew. That was a good movie.
All right, so the next time that we speak, next week, we might be in a really, really, really nice situation.
So we're predicting Braves. What did you said?
No, well, we don't have the pitching matchup, but I mean, not knowing, I say 2 out of 3.
So
what you did to me there.
We got a couple minutes, right? Let's. You
think?
Predict real quick. Who's going to pitch?
Yeah, look, they're all TBD. So
yeah. So we got who pitched last night? It's a 5-game set.
So who pitches tonight should pitch game 1 of that series. So it should start in Severino in Atlanta, right?
No, it's a 4-game. So who pitched last night? My brain's.
I thought didn't Ty Law pitch last night? No.
Manaea.
Manaea pitched. We're so old. Who pitched last night?
We are.
Quintana pitched last night.
No, man.
Let's just keep naming pitchers until we get it right.
Well, Quintana pitched last night.
Hey, guys, who pitched less than less than 24 hours ago.
What do we talk about 10 minutes on the show? I don't know. Rewind it.
You gotta just do this.
Who did that? I
So
don't know.
it would
Third
be
base.
Quintana, Sevy, and Peterson. Hypothetically.
Bam. Oh, wait. The one thing that we did not talk about, and that this plays into it, is Kodai Senga and the probability that he will make his next appearance somewhere in that Braves series, potentially as an opener. Did you guys see Gelbzy's report on him yesterday about getting stretched out?
70%.
No, I didn't hear 70% in that, but he talked about being an opener for that Braves series, and then potentially a game in the Brewers series, and then extend. And then he said, and if the Mets go on a really deep postseason run, then he becomes an actual 6+ inning type of starter.
I think we may add him to the roster, but
yeah,
I have a feeling that we're not going to play him down this stretch.
I think they're gonna pop him in there for a couple innings in that Brave series. And
does that do him justice? Coming off of rehab, he hasn't really pitched all year.
So he's gonna pitch one inning over the weekend in AAA. And then 5 days get a couple of innings in, and then as you get into, let's say, the wild card spot, and let's say you're in a situation where you need a shutdown couple of innings, you can bring Senga in and continue.
So is he going to start and play a couple of innings? Because then we're messing with a rotation that's been the best rotation in baseball for a good amount of time now, right? We're going to start him and just kind of disrupt that flow? I don't know. I think we just put him on the roster and see
not
how
our ace though. I think you at least get him out there to start stretching him out and potentially use him in different scenarios where, all right, it's the start of the 6th inning and you need a couple of 2 or 3 innings to bridge the gap to Diaz, and the pen got hammered last night or had a pitch, 6th inning, whatever. And then you bring him in. And that's something that's been done in the past with guys like Chris Sale, coming off injury and stuff like that, screw that guy, Chris Sale.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Routine, man. I mean, they, you can't just say he's going to be available the next 3 games. They live for their routine of days off and workouts, etc. You got to be able to pencil him in for a specific day.
Yes. Oh, I agree with you on that.
I don't think you just pull him out of the pen, Or I don't think
it's a scheduled day in the pen.
I don't think you can pull McGill in the 4th inning just because you want to get Senga 3 innings in.
Yeah, I agree, Joe. I'm a little concerned with them disrupting the flow of things right now because we've been doing so well. I mean, Senga obviously is amazing. It's not that I don't want him back, but we're in this flow right now, and just kind of forcing him into this, it doesn't feel right to me.
But also remember, in the playoffs, you're not. It's not a 5-man rotation anymore. It's going to be Sevy. It's going to be Minaya, and it's going to to let's see what Mendoza picks. Peterson. That's exactly where I was going to go. And so it'll be that. That's the Brewers series potentially. And then the same holds true into the next into the divisional round series, where you're now in a best of, where I guess you just say, okay, you're scheduled to pitch here. If we need you, great. If not, you throw a bullpen session. You throw the same 2 innings that you would normally throw, that you would have been scheduled for the playoff game somewhere in the middle, but you throw it in the bullpen session because McGill was freaking outstanding in middle relief, or McGill's not starting the playoffs.
Maybe when we get to 7 games.
I don't trust him there yet.
Maybe
Well, then in a 7-game series, and we're getting a little ahead, but that's what I like to do.
I mean, listen, our coaching staff has pushed this team, and the players have played well beyond anybody's expectations. So I'll just trust the process. But that's my opinion. I don't see why to insert him and disturb the flow right now. I see fitting him in elsewhere if he's good. keep him on the roster as an extra potential closer if Diaz pitches too much. Something to that effect, I think, would be good. But like I said, the coaching staff has done amazing. So I'll just trust however they handle it, I guess.
They have been pretty good. All right.
Yeah.
We are just about ready for game time in about 15 minutes. So let's wrap this bad boy up here. Let's go round robin here, heading into the huge, massive, huge series at Citi Field tonight, starting against the Phillies. Keith, what you got in the way out here?
Yeah, I haven't been this excited about a series since the last disappointing series at the end of the year a couple years back. But this has a totally different vibe to it. This has a 2015 kind of vibe, maybe even better to me, honestly, maybe even better. I'm feeling really good about this team, but I'm cautiously feeling good about it because I am a Met fan. Mm-hmm. I'll jump for joy once we lock that spot. This series coming in is so huge. It's exciting. I love this kind of Mets baseball because that's when the magic happens. And I think that we're going to take 3 out of 4, as I said before, against these Phillies. And I think we're going to get very close to, if not obtain, the #1 wild card spot.
Let's do it, baby.
Yeah.
What else? You got something that you want to project out there? Huh? You want to do something to somebody? Huh?
No, I totally forgot about that because it's just the same old. I always do this. Fuck, that's a Harper. I hope you suck. I hope you break a leg. But I hope you're okay afterwards because I don't want you to be hurt unless you're playing us. Fuck.
That's it, baby. Producer Joe, what you got here on the way out, sir?
This is the dream that you have every spring training, that we're high on life and we're going to win the series. You dream that you're right there in it in the last week of September. And this year we didn't chirp it up. And, April was nightmarish and everything was going the wrong way. What was it? Strawberry ceremony when we were 10 games under. And he said, this team can come together. This team can win. And it's been incredible. We've had the best record of baseball since, and it's like, this is it. Soak it up. Enjoy every minute of it. I'm terrified. I'm terrified for the series this weekend. I'm terrified we get embarrassed. We get our hearts broken again. It happens. We know better than anybody, but I'm terrified and I'm thrilled. I'm like thrilled we're even in this position, I mean, I've said it multiple times over the last month, and I will still say that, we could crash and burn the rest of the year, and we've still had a season that's memorable and one we could be proud of. We've already guaranteed a winning record with that we never dreamed possible. We've been competitive, and more than anything else, it's been fun.
Mega fun. Absolutely. So if we get to 90 wins, we will then have gone from mathematically speaking, we will have gone from 11 games under to 18 over. That's what? Yes, exactly. Exactly. And the other thing that we have this opportunity to do is to really exercise the demons, right? Finally flip the script and we be the one to knock one of our rivals out. We be the one to knock the Braves out of contention, where it's been year after year. It's been the Braves knocking us out. It's been the Nationals. It's been the Marlins. So now we have the opportunity to switch that all around and really get this, turn the trajectory of this unbelievable team around. So that'll do it for us. Game coming on in about 15 minutes. Peace out, everybody. We keep you updated on everything that's going on in Metsville over the weekend and throughout next week in the group. Get us out of here, Joe. Let's go, Mets!
Put up the bullets!